Welcome to the many interpretations of Concavenator, the medium-sized car dinosaur that lived in the early Cretaceous of what is now Spain. I am going to be completely honest with you guys, there's not a lot. There's slim pickings when it comes to Concavenator. Truly, truly criminal, because look at this thing. Isn't that one of the coolest theropod dinosaurs that you have ever seen in your entire life? Don't lie. Alright, I can tell when you're lying. But no, there's not a lot of video games, there's not a lot of movies, and there aren't any documentaries that I'm able to find anyway. If there's some other things that I don't really know about, that you do know about, then be sure to let me know about them, because I would love to see it. Concavenator's awesome. But regardless, it does still appear in a few different projects, and I think that it looks pretty great across the board. So definitely don't pass up on Concavenator, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so to start us off, we have the Path of Titans Concavenator. Looks really good. You get some little bit of variation, one with some quills, one that is a lot more thin and has its teeth exposed, and this one right here, of course. All look really good. I love how the quills kind of go on the hump-like structure that it has on its back, which is something that I'll probably elaborate on a little bit more, because that is such a strange structure, ain't it? You can also give it some really cool looking colors, and it has the whole Carcharodontosaurus skull shape, and you'll notice that its mouth was like completely blue, which I think is really cool. And yeah, let's run around as it a little bit. Okay, so as per usual, it looks really good. You know, the animations and everything just look fantastic. I love the way that it moves when it's running through the, you know, just running through. Overall, the design, again, just looks fantastic, but I will note that it seems like there are some rows of what look like osteoderms. It's either that or very thick scales. Of course, we haven't found any osteoderms associated with Concavenator. What osteoderms are, they're basically just bones that, they are bones that grow in the skin. Crocodiles and alligators have them all over their back today, and you know that this gives it a little bit more of a crocodile or alligator look to it, and that's probably a little bit deliberate because you are able to make this guy pretty semi-aquatic. Like, you're able to swim around pretty decently as the Concavenator. Look how cool it looks in the rain, though. Very dramatic. Sounds are cool. Sounds are really cool. But no, I really like this guy. You know, this is a fantastic one, and I could tell you right now, I'll be saying that a lot for this list, because there's a lot of really good ones on this. Then we have Prior Extinction. This looks so good. I've already kind of just, you know, praised Prior Extinction's designs a lot, and this is another great example of just how high quality their models look in terms of just pure paleo accuracy. This looks fantastic, and a lot of the colors that it has are just really look good. I don't know how else to put it. They just look really good on the model. As I likely mentioned in the Path of Titans section, it has the whole shape of Concavenator down, which is very important because Concavenator, of course, has that very strange structure towards the back of the animal, like positioned right before the hip. Now, what those are two tall neurospines that, of course, extend from the vertebrae. They would have created an interesting looking structure on the animal, a structure in which there's actually a little bit of a debate on what exactly it looked like when the animal was alive. Like, did it look a little bit more like a sail? Did it look like a hump-like structure? That's a matter of a debate. I really like the direction that they took in Prior Extinction. I think it looks really nice. And just regardless, I think that this looks fantastic. It definitely does look like a, you know, a relatively small Carcharodontosaurid, which might actually surprise a lot of you. Concavenator is a Carcharodontosaurid. It belongs to the same exact family as the very famous dudes like Carcharodontosaurus itself, Giganotosaurus, Meraxus, as well as other ones like Tyrannotitan or Acrocanthosaurus. It's one of those guys, but it's relatively small, which makes it awesome, if you ask me. But moving on from that, we have the only movie appearance that I know of. That is in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It is essentially a background statue. It shows up in the Lockwood Manor as one of his many dinosaur displays. And it looks really pretty cool here. You know, it has a nice little stylized look to it. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is kind of how wide that skull is, especially when you look at it kind of head on. In fact, the Hammond Collection figure actually was based off of that depiction, because of course that was the only one at the time. And you know, even though that is one of my minor complaints, like see how wide that is when it looks at you, Concavenator would have had a significantly thinner skull. But I think everything still does look really good on this guy, especially with those you know, that those tall neurospines that are positioned right back here. I think that they did a really good job at portraying that, and the colors look really cool too. You know, I had to get the figure. I love Concavenator, but yeah, let's move on. And then everything else on our list literally just comes from the Jurassic franchise. All the rest of them are video games. We have it in Jurassic World Alive. Looks like this. Hello, it's future me. So I was going to place a clip from Phineas and Ferb, specifically of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He was like kind of sitting in the living room, and he says his living room just got remodeled, and he's just sitting there, and he just says, "I like it." I was going to place that in reference to this Jurassic World Alive design, but I can't find that clip anywhere. So I like it. Yeah, really not much else I can say. Another great one in terms of the Jurassic World designs. They did add some spikes and things like that, which I do believe was present on the Fallen Kingdom model. I don't know, let me check. The Hammond figure doesn't have it. But it has these going on, and they could... Let me get a closer look. Of course, there's really no evidence for something like that. It is also shown breaking its wrists, which is unfortunate. I think that the one in Fallen Kingdom also breaks its wrists. I mean, by default, the figure came like this, where it's like it's holding them downwards like this, really diabolically. I position it like this, so that it's holding them inwards like that. Yeah, because that's how they're only able to hold them. They couldn't pronate their wrists. Anyway, it looks really cool here. I like the green coloration mixed in with the red. Those are complementary colors. And the shape of the skull also looks fantastic. It's a lot more thin, kind of how I was mentioning before, and I really like it. Same goes for Jurassic World the game, as it seems that the exact same model was used, at least for the earlier levels. Once you get it up to level 31 and 40, it's just the colors get a lot more bright, and the spikes become a lot more prominent. I do like how bright its hump-like structure back here does look, though, even though it seems, I didn't even notice this at first, but it seems that they gave it some extra ones. That's very crazy. That's very different. You know, I guess it's unique. There we go. That's a unique one. Primal Ops, basically the same things apply. I mean, it is a little bit different, of course, but the colors remain the same, and they changed up the shape of the skull a little bit. I think it also looks really good here. Of course, I don't think we ever got to see this guy see the light of day, because that game was unfortunately canned before it even had a chance to live. But yeah, no, that looks really good too. Now we have the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Concavenator. Of course, another very recent addition to the game. Came in the Cretaceous Predators pack. Absolutely beautiful. I love this one so much. Similar to the Utah Raptor, I think that they absolutely nailed it with this one. The whole shape looks fantastic. It has that very Carcharodontosaurus skull. The hump-like structure that it has on its hip, above its hip, looks really good, and they portrayed it with quills, similar to how Path of Titans did, or at least with some of the models. I don't think I got the opportunity to mention this yet, so I'm going to mention it here, but we have found what might be quill knobs on their arm bone, which implies that it maybe had feathers or quills similar to this, but that could also be muscle attachment sites. So that's not necessarily something we know for sure. It's just kind of speculative. We obviously need more fossil material before we can figure out something like that. But regardless, this still looks so good. Let's look at the other colors. This one looks really cool, but my favorite colors are these ones. I love the blue. I love the blue mixed in with the rest of the colors. And the sounds that these guys make is just really, really good. These are some of my favorites in the game. I think I say that a lot, but I genuinely mean it here. Like, this is just really, really good. I love it. 10 out of 10, no notes. Alright, and then I figured I'd talk about this one too. This is the Ark Editions mod, or, you know, it's a mod for Ark. This is the dossier for it, and it looks pretty, you know, pretty stylized, all things considered. Probably the most stylized one that we have on here. It's got some spikes coming off of that, you know, that hump-like structure. There's a mini one right here, and there's this one right here. What's interesting is it has kind of like this fluff on the bottom, similar to feathers or fur. Probably feathers, technically speaking. And instead of quills or something like that, we have this, which is like basically armor, and it kind of extends everywhere. This guy is very, very different, but, you know, it's stylized, but I think that it captures the whole look and feel of Concavenator pretty well. Like, if I looked at this, I could probably guess that it was Concavenator, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, very groovy, I think. The kind of interlocking armor on its legs, that's different. Yeah, cool. And like I said, there's really not a lot of depictions of this guy. It's truly, truly unfortunate because, again, it's just a really cool theropod dinosaur that does deserve a lot of attention. But because I do really like Concavenator, I will talk about it a little bit more, despite the fact that we've made it through all of the media depictions. Specifically, let's talk about those tall neurospines that it has. What the heck are those, and what is the deal with them? Why did it have them? That is also a matter of debate. We don't know the exact function for something like that. Maybe it was used for thermal regulation, maybe it was used as a form of display, or to identify members of the same species, or one of my favorite depictions comes from, hold on. One of my favorite depictions essentially comes from this piece of paleo art done by Mark Whitten. I think I have it in there in a decent way. But what it basically shows and like implies is that it was possibly used as a form of camouflage, essentially. Like maybe the environment the Concavenator lived in kind of had the type of vegetation or other structures that would look similar to that, and it would kind of help the Concavenator blend in a little bit, likely when it was trying to stalk its prey or something along those lines. That's just one of my favorite ideas. By the way, if you want this book, it's Mesozoic Art. It's a very good book. Highly recommend it. It showcases a lot of different paleo artists' work. But that's certainly one of my favorite ideas when it comes to the structure that Concavenator has. I'm not too sure how likely something like that is. It is, of course, speculative, but I like it. I really like it. I think it's a fun idea to apply to the animal. And yeah, that's practically the rest I can say. I'm pretty sure that I already mentioned that there is a possibility that it had quills or feathers or something along those lines. And yeah, when it comes to Carcharodontosaurids, Concavenator is not usually one that people would think of, and I do think that should change a little bit. You know, I think that we should get more media depictions of this very, very strange animal. You know, just look at that silhouette. Crazy. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for this one. Once again, a few updates for the channel that I'll keep saying. We are close to 20,000 subscribers, and that is incredibly awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. And the goal for that is similar to the special we did for 10,000 subscribers. I want to do another special many interpretations of, that being either Triceratops or Velociraptor. I'll let you guys vote on that when I put the poll out when we get close enough, but it'll be one of those two dinosaurs because those are by far the most requested ones for the series. They're also hefty videos. There's a lot of depictions of both of those guys, so it would be a huge video indeed. But anyway, I do really appreciate everybody watching these videos. As this one is uploading, I am currently out of town and without service. I've had to just record a ton of videos the week before and get them scheduled because, you know, I didn't really want to miss any uploads. So because of that, I don't think I'd be able to really respond to any comments and things like that, but rest assured, once I get back into town and I'm able to look at comments again, I will be responding and, you know, taking a lot of things into consideration. But hopefully this video gets out okay. You know, I really don't want to miss this upload. But regardless, if you did enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Something like that really does help out a lot. And just have an awesome day.